Welcome back to the 2023 NAB Show live stream, where the Stream Geeks are taking over, taking you guys to some of the coolest vendors here at the showroom floor. And I am here at EditShare with Stephen Tallamy, the CTO. Tell me a little bit about EditShare, Stephen.
Yeah, so EditShare, we build kind of two core products. We have EFS, which is our kind of online storage platform that can scale out to petabytes of storage. You can start small but go really big if you need to. Then we also have Flow, which is our media asset management system. So that allows you to then automate all of your workflows, do transcoding, integrate with all of your favorite editorial tools. We have that available for on-premise and the cloud. So in the cloud, we call that system Flex. So it's really giving people that ability to use their workflows, whether they're on-prem, in the cloud, or some hybrid of the both.
It's so great to see companies using cloud in the right way. It used to be, what is the cloud? How does it work? And now it's really just about flexibility. I'm glad you called it Flex.
Yes,
Because it's like, well, you can use it from home, you can use it here, you can use it there. And my experience has been, hey, you don't need a super fast computer because you can use a Chromebook because it's just all in the cloud, right?
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that's also about rethinking a little bit the way you use your workflow. When you've got all of your compute power in the cloud, you can have a really cheap, low-cost device to go and access it all, but you can then use things in a more opportunistic way. So for example, if you want to do an 8K edit today, you'd have to buy a really expensive computer, and then you'd have to keep that computer for just one-off kind of thing. In the cloud, you could just spin up a really powerful workstation in the cloud, use that for a week, and then turn it down, and that's it. You're done.
I love the flexibility, the scalability, allowing smaller players to do more, but then the bigger guys as well, I'd imagine. Tell us about your normal customer and kind of what they're doing with your product.
Yeah, so we have customers that go across the range. So, people from post-production, from production. We have houses of worship, we have education, we have corporate customers, advertising agencies. So they're all using a different set of tools, right? So some in the very high end might be using an Avid Media Composer, some might be using an Adobe Premiere. They're increasingly seeing people using Resolve for editorial, not just for color as well. And so we're trying to make sure that they get the same experience across all of those tools by using our automation products. So we've got plugins and advancements into all of those tools that we're showing here at the show. Wow.
Now, let's say I'm an Adobe user, maybe I'm a Premiere user. I was seeing, which I use Premiere a lot to make my videos, and I think a lot of people do. You have a plugin for that? Explain how that works.
Yeah, so basically what happens is as things arrive on the storage platform, it's scanned, it's automatically create proxy versions of it. So, you may be familiar with a proxy workflow if you use Adobe. Maybe it's a high resolution content that your machine can't cope with, or, you're trying to do things over a wide network or other things. So it'll automatically do all of those things from a central position. You can then use a web interface to even start organizing it. So you could start building up your bins, you could start creating markers in a web tool before you even touch Adobe. So this is great for collaboration because people can be working different sites. The producer might be working with the editor. The producer may not want to open Premiere. It's a bit alienating for them. So they can use those web tools. But then with the panel, you can continue that. So they might create a rough cut sequence of things that are going to be useful for a particular sequence. You just then use the panel, import that entire sequence, and it's laid out there on the timeline for you. All the markers, all the metadata, the entire thing, and the proxy as well. So you can have the proxy and the higher resolution, and you can use the toggle proxy features of Adobe to use that. So it makes it very seamless to kind of transition from the sort of collaborative initial part of, what is the footage, how are things laid out, what are the good shots, through to the editor doing their detailed work.
Wow. Now, this is the 100th year of NAB. How many years have you been going to NAB?
So this is actually technically my second year, but EditShare has been here for around 17 years. So we've been at the show many years. We launched the first product of EditShare actually at the NAB show many years ago. It's actually my second year. Last year was very nice because we picked up an Emmy Award last year at the show, a technical Emmy Award. So we walked away with that, and that was a really nice recognition of all of the things, as you said, we're doing with remote and cloud editorial workflows. That's actually what we were recognized for by the Emmy Award. So we're very proud to get that last year. And this year we've got lots of great new features that are really solving customer workflow problems.
Wow. Is there anything else we should talk about while we're here?
Yeah, I mean, also we're finding that people are wanting to work across multiple sites, multiple facilities. So certainly people may have started working, had a post house in London, and they've bought a post house in New York. They can then synchronize the media between those two facilities very rapidly so people can work with it where it is. That's one of the new functions that we've got with our multi-site capabilities of EditShare.
I am so excited to see what is going on here at the NAB Show live. This has been another show from the Stream Geeks Takeover, and we have a little bit more to talk about today. Tomorrow, we are going to be taking you into the Central and West Halls. Today, we are in going to the North Hall. But let's talk a little bit more about this new plugin that you have, because I didn't have a chance to really look at it in detail. It's over here. I make a lot of videos in Premiere, but I just dump them right into Premiere. And I'm wondering if this could help me kind of collaborate with my team. Let's say I'm here on the show floor, recording videos. Maybe I could just, even with my phone, start uploading them into the EditShare Cloud, Flex, right? And then my team back home would receive them. Walk me through that just as a regular guy making videos.
Yeah, I mean, so we try to make it so you can work the way you used to work. So one of the enhancements we've added recently is you can just drag the media in there, but then use the EditShare panel to link it to all the metadata that everyone else has been working on. So say you just drag it in, somebody else remotely has been adding tags, adding markers, maybe sending it through an AI. So they've got a transcription, they've got maybe some object detection. You can just drag it in, use the EditShare panel, relink it, and all of those things then become markers inside of Premiere. So you can then gain the benefit of all those people working remotely, or even AIs that are working for you remotely, organizing your material. Then you can continue doing your job inside of Premiere in the way that you're used to. So we're trying to make it so that the workflow is very similar and familiar to you as an existing user. We don't want to make you do something completely differently, but you can gain the benefit of all those people working remotely. Then if you want to, you can then use our plugin to send it off for review and approve. So you can hit review, it will render out a version of your sequence, upload it to the flow system that's centralized, that everyone has access to, and then they can put comments on it and have a little sort of discussion with you. So you can have chat threads and those kind of things. So they could say, yeah, that's great, but I don't want this shot, I want something different. Can you remember that shot we had from earlier? So they can have a conversation with you, and then you can be just working in the panel and see all that comments there inside of Adobe. So you don't need to leave your editorial platform, but they can continue to work remotely in web browsers. So it's a really nice interchange between you and the other people working on your project.
I really like that because I have a team back in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I'm here in Las Vegas trying to make videos, and I really need to look into this because I'm using Dropbox right now. There's no integration with Premiere, so I'm really looking forward to learning more about this, Stephen.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of great workflows that we're trying to enable, and enabling those for Resolve editors as well. So we've got the same integration within DaVinci Resolve. In version 16 of DaVinci Resolve, they added that integration capabilities. So we've also got that same kind of workflow for people who are using those tools.
Wow. Well, we're going to go ahead and send it off back to you, Ryan.